plant reproduction. And for further information, as always, you can go into the individual article, in this case on plant reproduction. So anyways, most angiosperms or flowering plants engage in sexual reproduction. All right, yeah, so MES notes, sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that involves a complex life cycle in which a gamete, such as a sperm or egg cell, with a single set of chromosomes called haploid, combines with another to produce a zygote that develops into an organism composed of cells with two sets of chromosomes called a diploid. So again, we've gone over this several times, but let's just go over it further and just drive that point into your mind. So in the first stage of sexual reproduction, meiosis, the number of chromosomes is reduced from a diploid number 2n to a haploid number n. Yeah, so you got this two sets of the chromosomes in this diploid. Meiosis gets 4 of these, and you get one set on each one of these. And then during fertilization, haploid gametes come together to form a diploid zygote, and the original number of chromosomes is restored. So then you get these, and then you get another set coming in here with their own set, and then the fertilized, and then you fuse together, etc. And you're getting back to this zygote set up with this diploid 2n. And that's essentially sexual reproduction. All right, very interesting. So to continue further, so they're flowers. So so for most angiosperms right here, their flowers are organs that facilitate reproduction. Their flowers are organs that is the place for reproduction, usually by providing a mechanism for the union of sperm with eggs. Flowers may facilitate 2 types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when the pollen from the anther is deposited on the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. That's self. We've already gone over that. Cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower on a different individual of the same species. Self-pollination happened in flowers where the stamen and carpel mature at the same time. I think this typo should mean happens. Let's put a seek just in case. I think this is grammatically incorrect. So self-pollination happens in flowers where the stamen and carpel mature at the same time and are positioned so that the pollen can land on the flower stigma, such as via wind. This pollination does not require an investment from the plant to provide nectar and pollen as food for pollinators. Yeah, so this is self-pollination. It could just be the wind right on it to itself. So it does not need, additional investment from the plant to provide nectar and pollen as food for pollinators. I mean, note, a pollinator is an animal that moves pollen from the male anther of a flower to the female stigma of a flower. And nectar is a sugar-rich liquid produced by plants in glands called nectaries. Or let's see this.
Nectaries.
Or nectaries, or nectaries, or nectarines. Nectarines.
Nectarines.
The nectarines or nectaries, nectaries. Yeah, or nectarines, either within the flowers with which it attracts pollinating animals, or by extrafloral nectaries or extrafloral.
Extrafloral.
Yeah, extrafloral nectaries, which provide a nutrient source to animal mutualists, which are interactions where all benefit, which in turn provide herbivore protection, so protection against plant eaters. So essentially, just giving some sugar to some pollinators, either within the flowers or outside of the flowers, and as well as just giving it for herbivore protection. Yeah, so I would assume it's and or for pollinators or herbivore protection there. So if one of them's eating from it, it's going to protect from against other animals. So an Australian painted lady, a type of butterfly feeding on a flower's nectar. So yes, it's feeding on that. It's drinking it. It's sapping onto that. Very, very interesting. There's a big giant tube there sucking it. And very interesting. So extrafloral nectaries are also known as extranuptial.
Extranuptial.
All right, let's try that again. Computer just blew up.
As extranuptial
extranuptial or extranuptial nectaries are specialized nectar secreting plant glands that develop outside of flowers and are not involved in pollination. generally on the leaf or petiole. Let's see this.
petiole,
Or petiole, which connects leaves to the stem. Yeah, and these on the petiole or leaves is called foliar nectaries. Let's see this right here.
foliar nectar,
Yeah, foliaries, nectaries, and often in relation to leaf venation. See the pronunciation here.
leaf venation,
Or venation. So you have, just recall here, so there's the leaf, there's a petiole, and there's the internode, there's a node, etc. So it could be on there, the gland that secretes the nectar for the extra floral, extra floral nectaries over there. And then on the leaf or petiole, you could call that floreal nectaries. Again, all terminology. So yeah, stem showing internode and nodes plus leaf petioles over there. See the pronunciation again?
petiole,
Or petioles. And venation is the pattern of veins in the blade. In the blade of a leaf. The leaf consists. The veins consist of vascular tissues which are important for the transport of food and water. Yes, vascular tissues there, which are important for the transport of food and water. And here is the setup. Here it looks pretty absolutely ridiculous here. Pretty amazing. So the veins there, and there's a micro veins over there. A leaf with laminar, smooth layered, which is smooth layered organization, structure, and pinnate.
pinnate,
Yeah, so there's feather-like arrangement of venation. So there's feather-like veins over there. That's quite amazing, the detail in this leaf. We continue further now. And now here's a reproduction and development in sporophytes that reproduce via spores. Essentially, yeah, the main plant reproduction method. So you have haploid on the bottom here. Remember the alternation of generations, and there's a diploid 2N over there. So what you have is the sporophyte here. So the haploid, and then it produces sperm and egg, and then fertilization either together or not, or from another one, another plant coming in, and then it fertilizes, and then you get a zygote, which is 2N. And then there's mitosis, it grows, you get a big sporophyte there. Yeah, I mean, a sporophyte, this is a sporophyte, this is the gametophytes over here. So yes, remember it's alternation of generations, you can have them in the same, in the same cycle. So the generations are all occurring, could occur at the same time. And then what you have is sporangia over here, which produces the spores via meiosis. So there's 2N, and then meiosis breaks it down to 1N. And then you have germination grows, and you get a gametophyte and a sporophyte still there, or could be still there. And then this continues on. So this is the alternation of generations set up there. And let's just compare this with that animal, or the typical animal sexual reproduction. So meiosis goes from 2N to N, and then fertilization goes from N to 2N. And it should be a similar setup here. See this one here. Oh yeah, so you have that, this is the meiosis, goes from 2N to N, yeah, so always 2N to N, and then fertilization goes from here, 1N to 2N. Yes, very, very interesting.